Greetings, community, and welcome to NCBD Comics and another edition of Kevin's most anticipated reads tomorrow for New Comic Book Day 1/8/2025. And here we are once again alive in 2025. Hey, I just want to take a moment and say Happy New Year's to those of you that made it through the new year. And I wish you a healthy and happy New Year's at that. And for those of you that cruising in here on the rewinds, I greatly appreciate you taking the time. If you like what you see, then go ahead and hit subscribe. If you like really what you see at the moment when you see it, go ahead and hit the like button. I won't be offended. Now let's go ahead and acknowledge those that decide to cruise on in on the live. Let's start off by saying hi to Las Cruces. How you doing, buddy? I hope you're doing well. I hope all is good. And Happy New Year's to you. And I appreciate you being here as always, dude. Seriously. And those who cruise on in on as I start going down the list, I appreciate you doing so. And let's start off by talking about IDW and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Nation issue number 3. It does seem like it's been quite some time since this title dropped. It may be on time. I really couldn't say. There have been a considerable amount of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle titles coming out in the past, 4 months? So it is a little kind of difficult to keep in track. At the same point, what I'm getting at is what I really appreciate this book, and it does seem like it's been quite some time since I read issue 2, had to be over 5 weeks, is that it's this series seems to be not only a good storytelling, in my opinion, but it's also very world building. And that's what I get with much of what I've been reading with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles of late. Not only in the main title, but offshoot stories, or in the case of this, with the Mutant Nation, with the title that Jenica has been doing with, God, I just was talking about it yesterday. You know, as my point being is that there's been so much Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that it just seems like it's expanding this universe so exponentially. I really been digging it, and that's what's been enjoyable for me, is not just the regular stories of battling the Foot Clan, all this other stuff, but what it's been doing is it's given us the understanding that what we're going to be getting in the next few years, once we have this world as expanded as it's getting, and I see this happening for a good another month or two, especially after this title ends, is that now then we're going to get all the stories that revolve within that realm. So I really am looking forward not only more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but this title in particular, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Nation, issue number 3, coming out Wednesday, 1/8/2025. Hey, Jack, how you doing? Hope all is well, buddy. All right, let's move out from IDW and cruise over to Dark Horse and talk about Survival Street, The Radical Left, issue number 4. As I spoke about this title in the past, and what it was is in my unboxing, because I did receive issue number 3 just recently and started getting through those books, is the all the social, political, some of the satire, some of the awfully ugly, poignant. It's just beautifully written and so simple and eloquent that, I mean, anyone can read this thing, and as a surface story, it's great. But when you start reading into the messages that are definitely within the layers of the storyline, and even within the actual pages as it's drawn, because you see stuff in the background and you know what they're talking about, it's fucking awesome. If you're really into this kind of title, which I definitely am, Dark Horse with the Survival Street in particular is just killing it with this title. Yes, what's also cool with Dark Horse is they give us great independent titles, Dark Horse obviously, but what they're also giving us in the case of like Survival Street, or in the case of Usagi Yojimbo, what we get is just stories that are very, very intentionally written, and with an understanding of what they're trying to get across, both on a direct level, indirect level, social, political, on multiple levels, and sometimes in the case it's historical. In the case of what we're end up seeing in the sense of Survival Street, and definitely moving down the road with issue number 4, we're getting an understanding of what the agenda is with the storyline and how it is directly pointing at some of the things that have not only transpired, but are directly transpiring right now. So that's why I think I've been enjoying this title so much. Is because, yes, as I said, it's the ugly poignance of it. It's Oh, it sits well with me and it sits ugly with me, and I just love it and I can't get enough. So that's why Survival Street issue number 4 is pretty high on my list to read tomorrow on 1/8/2025. Let's move on from that and talk about Image Comics because they're going to give us a few titles. Now, this, if I didn't already have read it some shit 5 weeks ago, it would have been on my top of the list of my most anticipated read this week, and that is The Lucky Devils issue number 1. I did read the Ashcan version that had come out some time ago, and I'm not going to spoil anything as much as, you know me, I don't do that stuff. What I will tell you is yes, it is just as well written as 8 Billion Genies. It is just as innovative and different. It is just as fun. It is just as whimsical. It is just as intense with its understanding of what its directive is. And I'm looking forward to this journey because just a little bit of taste of that evilness got me to where I definitely want to go deep in the dells of the pit of hell. So I can't wait to get into not only issue number 1, once again, just to refresh my memory, but I'm looking forward to this whole series in particular. So again, Lucky Devils issue number 1 coming out tomorrow, and I can't wait to get into issue number 2. Moving out from Lucky Devils, let's talk about Geiger issue number 10. Geiger's still killing it. Johns is still killing it. As far as this title, this is one of my favorite titles coming out of this universe. I really just can't get enough of this story in particular because it is so well written, and it really yanks on a lot of heartstrings. What I like about this journey is there's more times than not, every time you end up getting into one of these issues, there's some type of philosophical, and more times not, something that really hits you in the heart that makes you go, ah. The fact that even Geiger's taken on a companion that is taken on a companion is showing you how much compassion this guy's starting to grow. He was so just shut off from the world because of what had happened to him. The fact that he's letting people into his lives, or in the case of that knight that has the zebra, what I really enjoyed about this title is it does show you, if you decide to go there and you go beyond the actual, just again, surface of the writing, you start to understand that the journey is more than just one of the title itself and the story, but it's also a journey. If you decide to do so, it kind of gets a little existential. So I'm just saying it's kind of cool. And I've really been enjoying Geiger for all the multitudes that it does and for the directions that it goes. But it's very easy to read and it's very enjoyable, and I can't get enough of this journey. So I do recommend Geiger if you're not already reading it. And issue number 10 is coming out tomorrow, so there's a lot of catching up to do. Moving on from that, let's talk about Transformers issue number 16. This is another one that I'm thoroughly enjoying. Now that we've nailed down this whole Energon universe to just 3 titles, it is not only easier on my pocketbook, but it's a lot more simpler to kind of keep in my head. As you well know, I read a lot of titles. So it's kind of difficult to kind of keep it all straight up here. But at the same point, Transformers has not only been something that has been easy to be remembered and is easy to go on the journey, but it's definitely not one that I recall as a kid. And the fact that I guess it keeps blowing my mind and it gives me some rather disturbing memories as I'm reading each issue, I think is why it does sit in my head so much and it's so easy to recall and such been an enjoyable read thus far. It would also be one of my top reads in the sense of it almost made my number 1. My Blue Light Special, it almost did. But again, also it was just beat out. So again, Transformers issue number 16 is coming out tomorrow on 1/8/2025. Moving on from that, let's talk about what's the furthest place from here, issue number 21. Yeah, I've been reading it this long, and not only that, but I don't know how. There was a few issues that got mixed up on a few. I should say a few titles got mixed up on a pre-order that I was doing. Issue number 20 for What's the Furthest Place from Here was one of those titles. When I find out I was missing it, and I knew something was askew, I not only ended up reading it, but remembered why I enjoy the title so much. Now that issue number 21 is coming out, and rather for me quickly. It didn't take a full month because I was so late on reading the other title. My point being is, what the hell? Did we just do a full circle? And was that the idea, the journey, and the title? Because how ironic and awesome. And you guys suck. I really am enjoying this title, as you can totally tell. This is one of my ones that I just could not eliminate. As you see, I'm in issue new 21. It's coming out tomorrow. I really been thoroughly enjoying this because of the styling of how it's written and drawn. And the fact that now it did go into a place that I was hoping it wouldn't do. It kind of reminds me of at the end of Planet of the Apes, when you see the Statue of Liberty. That's kind of where we're at right now with issue number 21. Well, what's the furthest place from here? I cannot believe this is where we're at. Seriously, oh my God, I can't believe it. So that's why it almost made my top Blue Light special too. But it was just inched out. So again, what's the furthest place coming? What's the furthest place from here? Issue number 21 coming out on 1/8/2025 is one damn enjoyable read. All right, let's cruise out from the Image and finish off with Marvel. And Marvel's going to give us Amazing Spider-Man issue number 65. I've been learning that either you love it or you hating it on this 8 Deaths of Spider-Man. I'm kind of digging it. I think it's interesting to see Peter go on a journey that would normally not be him. He's taken on aspects that it seemed like either Doom is too afraid or too proud. And usually ego does kind of show its ugly head with Doom. To not decide to go ahead and do that. He got a Herald, which is now his proxy, essentially, is Peter Parker, to go ahead and do these things that the Sorcerer Supreme used to do. And I mean, because of the fact that now Doom is the Supreme, there's so much going on here that I've been thoroughly enjoying this. And the fact that we end up seeing aspects of seeing that the way Peter resolves some of the issues and the fact that he has to go through certain aspects that are kind of cathartic. He has to deal with things he doesn't want to do. He has to grow in ways that he never thought he had to. And he has to contend with things and do magic-y things that are way beyond him, but he's learning quick. And it's been a really enjoyable read, even though we're getting 3 separate writers in such a quick timeline between issue 60 to now 65. It's like, what the? You would think there'd be a whiplash going on. There is some form of continuity. There is an enjoyability to the differences in the writing, even though it doesn't seem that herky-jerky. These gears are changing rather smooth. So the transmission, the transition, all that's going rather well. So I've been enjoying the Amazing Spider-Man thus far, and I'm looking forward to issue number 65 coming out tomorrow. Yeah. Moving on from that, let's talk about Magic issue number 1. Seriously, that Magic of X-Men. Yeah, you're right. I don't read X-Men. I can't believe you guys are drilling me on this like this. Wait, hold on. Give me a break. The way it is this. Kai has been playing the video game on the Marvel thingy video, and he's totally been into the character. He's been doing all this research on the character. He's just digging the fact that how her sword was made was from her soul and all this other stuff. So he is all in on reading this title. So he tells me. So that's why I'm picking this title. I'm not necessarily in it for me. It is for him, and due to his major interest in this character, well, obviously I'm a curious kind of Gus. I'm just saying, I'm a curious kind of Kevin, but you know what I mean. So that's why I'm looking forward to Magic issue number 1 coming out tomorrow on 1/8/2025. Let's talk about New Champions issue number 1. Now that one I'm definitely looking forward to. New Champions is something that has been building up to quite some time, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this all turns out. Essentially, this has been, a culmination of a few titles that now turned into this, and I'm looking to see what this is. That I bought all those supporting titles and everything that was talking about all these different characters. So please be good. I am so looking forward to this title, and I'm so dying it to be good. So I pray, please be good. New Champions issue number 1. Please be good. Hey, Christina. I hope you're doing well. Appreciate you dancing with me in 2025. So, all right, let's move out from magic, right? Yeah, and new champions, cool. And let's talk about what if Galactus transformed Gambit issue number 1. I've been buying all these what if titles, and I've really been digging them. I made mention before that I like when a writer is not held by any real reins. I'm not going to go all into the extensive details of what it is to go ahead and even just pitch an idea to someone like at Marvel or Image or whatever, let alone when it gets picked up and you're writing the editor's changes or other changes that are being made due to we decide to take your title and go from the 6th issue to a 5 issue and so forth. There is so much that I necessarily stating that I'm not going to go into. Is what I'm saying is when you get in these one-shot what-if stories, a lot of that goes out the window. Once someone pitches it and they kind of say, okay, these individuals are usually allowed to just throw caution to the wind and have fun within some confines, but you get what I'm getting at. So that's what I really like about these what-if titles is to be able to make tales in which that are very unique to the writer because they're allowed to go ahead and just kind of snap the reins off the horse and let it go. Boy, I just use a lot of similes and metaphors, and I hope you're following me on this. So again, what if Galactus transformed Gambit issue number 1 is definitely kind of hot. Well, definitely in that 6th, yeah, 6th on this kind of list, 7th, somewhere around there, to read on 1/8/2025. Taking a break. I appreciate you guys being here. Las Cruces, Christina, Jag. I just realized I had considerably more titles than I initially thought. So, hey, I appreciate you guys being here, and we're going to make it through it. Here we go. Pushing. We got 2 more titles to do, and let's talk about one more what if title, which is a simple one. What if Mickey and friends were the Fantastic Four? It's another one of those what if stories that you take the Marvel characters and you just slip them into classic characters of yore. And I really been liking this because we've been getting this so far. What I think it was X-Men, and we got, or no, it was Avengers, right? And now we got Fantastic Four. We've gotten Ms. Marvel. I really been liking this stuff because whenever you slip in these, I'm not that far from Anaheim, and my kids kind of grew up on Disneyland stuff. So I'm not saying I'm a huge Disney fan, but it isn't that far out of reach to enjoy these characters because of, well, I don't know, just the lifestyle in which I led. I'm kind of goofy. So I'm looking forward to what if Mickey and Friends became Fantastic Four issue number 1. But what we're really here to see is, and that's right, for you and me, that is the Blue Light Special this week, which is the all-new Venom issue number 2 coming out tomorrow on 1/8/2025 for me and you. Now, this title is something that I really been enjoying, and it's the aftermath that came out of not only Venom War, but Venom issue number 39. This is an all-new Venom that had to go ahead and leave not only Dylan, but Brock. And I'm not going to go into all the past. If you're not already reading everything that's going on, but you slightly have an understanding, then cool. Because holy macatoonie, 2024 symbiote wise was gnarly. Between everything that was going on with Brock and Dylan, between what Dylan became, everything with the whole codexy stuff, and just wow. All I'm saying, and the war and splitting, and now what we have is aftermath. And in issue number 2, essentially what we are going to do with the elimination, that's what the quotes we thing were for. Yeah, let's go at this side, is to eliminate prospects of who the host could be. I believe we're going to have that ability to eliminate one of those prospects in this issue. So what I've been enjoying is not only the setup, issue number 1, but it was more of a carryover from issue number 39, and moreover, Venom War issue number 5. Those are seamlessly kind of pushing this issue up to 2, where we're going to end up getting is a little bit more build upon an understanding of who the host is, what this aftermath means, and if Dylan can possibly just hold it together long enough not to freak out and become Meridius. Because I know Brock, Dylan, Eddie always showed himself, but what if it was really Dylan the whole time pretending to be dad? And I don't think anyone's ever talked about that one. And that could be an actual case. he could just have been wearing it like a disguisey thing, So this can go anywhere, and I really have been enjoying it between who the host can be, this all new Venom, the whole gold thing. I am dying to get my hands on there, and being that I had to work today and I couldn't put this thing out until way late, obviously I don't have the book here. Tomorrow, new comic book day. I will get off work early enough to go ahead and get down there. And you guess what? Guess what? It's gonna be on the top of my list. That's right, this Blue Light Special, all new Venom, issue number 2, coming out on 1/8/2025. I want to thank everyone who decided to cruise on in here on the live. Cap, I hope you and Spider are doing well. Las Cruces, I appreciate you, brother. Christina, as always, I can't thank you enough. Jag, dude, you the man, you the dude. Great having you here, and have a healthy and happy 2025. Anyone I may have missed here on the live and or on the rewind, I appreciate you stopping by. And that's it for me, Entropy. You take care.